And here with us this afternoon we have Leclercq, Director, Treasury and Capital Markets from the Belgian Treasury. Welcome, Anne.
Thank you.
Belgium has just issued a sovereign green bond, come to the market. Can you tell us what led to that decision? What were the driving forces behind it?
Well, the driving forces behind this decision is in fact the declaration of the Prime Minister. That was the main catalyst, and he wanted to have a part of the Financiën of 2018 done through green bonds. And for him, the reasons for doing so is that he wanted to show the commitment of Belgium towards the transition towards a more eco-friendly economy. And at the same time, we realized that indeed that transition requires quite a lot of investments. And a lot of the investments now go from the green bond and are channeled to those markets. But on the other side, we realize also that governments, being very big actors, need probably to be present in those green bond markets too. And by doing so, we will add, as a government, immediately quite a lot of liquidity to those markets. If you realize, for example, the green bond market for the moment is a little bit less than 300 billion. So if we do a size of 4.5 billion, we almost do 2% of that market. So it's quite a big chunk. Another reason for the Prime Minister to make the declaration is the fact that the green finance in Belgium is still quite underdeveloped. And by doing this green bond, we are going to be an example as well for the issuers, the other issuers in the country, but also at the same time, we'll try to have the investors be more involved in the green finance itself. So these are really the most important elements of the reasons for doing green bond. Now, it's important also for a debt management office to have the political support for doing a green bond, because a green bond is a bit different from what we do in a normal life. Our financing is a normal bond financing, and when you do a green bond, you need to have a cover pool of green eligible expenditures, and that's not immediately our competence, I would say. So, which means that you have to work together with very different ministries. So we had not less than 7 different ministries to work together with, and also 2 public agencies. So, if you don't have the political support, it will be very difficult to have those people work together with you. And so we did a coordination, but we had very big help from them.
Oh, thank you. And secondly then, you mentioned investors. What was the reaction from the market and from institutional investors overall?
That was terrific, I would say. I mean, we did a roadshow of 2 weeks before we launched the bond, so we saw approximately 97 investors, and all of the investors were quite excited about the structure of the bond, the way we had presented it, and they really put their money where their mouth is, because they came with orders for above approximately 12.5 billion, and out of this 12.5 billion, we did a bond of 4.5 billion. In fact, we were a bit limited to 4.5 billion because of the size of the cover pool of green eligible expenditure, which was only 5.5 billion. So all in all, a great allocation of the bonds. We allocated the bonds to 92% of the bonds was allocated to the real money accounts, of which a great deal were green investors. So I would say it's successful.
I see. So, given the 2 components that you've raised, both political support and direction at the top and a positive response from the marketplace, what would be your advice to other nations that might be considering a sovereign issuance during 2018?
So what would be my advice? First of all, as I said, political support is important. Secondly, make sure that you have SLAs with the different ministries with whom we work, because you don't only have to select the green eligible expenditures, but you have to report afterwards, not only on the allocation of the proceeds, but also on the impact. And then the third principle, I would say, keep it simple. Keep it simple. So the KISS principle is very important. Make sure that you have diversified cover pool, but not too diversified, and make sure that you already know before you start how are you going to do the reporting. I think that's an important element.
Anne Leclercq from Belgium, thank you very much for talking to us at the Climate Bonds Annual Conference this afternoon.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.